Joke's on me. Lots of laughs. Yeah. Hey, bring the wife and kiddies. Come see the show. This is gonna be a circus. This... just the beginning, love. A warm-up act. The real headline is coming. And when that band hits the stage, all this will come tumbling in death and screaming, horror and bloodshed. From beneath you, it devours.
Welcome to episode 128 of Revisiting Sunnydale. Hello, I'm Camila.
I'm Marcella.
We have, I think we're better, we're more on track these days. And also, last week I had said something about, we don't have like a number 79 or whatever episode. Well, it turns out it was our live episode from Millie's, and I just did not number it at all.
Yay!
I didn't give it I didn't give it a number at all. So in any of anything that was, so that's why it seemed it was like a skip. But so it's there. Today is season 7, the final season of Buffy, episode 2, Beneath You. Original air date October 1st, 2002. Written by Douglas Petrie, directed by Nick Mark. Okay. A giant worm-like creature.
Right? Sorry, Nick, but that's exactly what I said when I was typing it out. I was like, Mark? Is that... Okay.
A giant worm-like creature begins stalking a young woman. As the gang begin to investigate, they realize its appearance in Sunnydale may be linked to Anya. Dun, dun, dun. Important guest stars, co-stars Anthony Stewart Head as Giles, D.B. Woodson as Principal Robin Wood. I wonder, now that I'm saying it out loud, is this supposed to be like a play on words? Or, I get like Robin Hood?
His name?
Yeah, like, I don't know. Karina Offronk as Nancy. Hi, Nancy.
Hi, Nancy. And your dog.
Oh. Dog's name was what? Rocco or something? What was
I think so. So cute.
Poe thing. Poe baby. So we start off this episode in Frankfurter, Germany, where a young woman who is mysteriously looks like suspiciously a lot like Run Lola Run is running for her life throughout
That's funny,
the city.
and I thought it was Alias. It reminded me of the one episode of Alias.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, it ain't Buffy.
Right. And apparently only listeners of a certain age will get either one of those references that we just made. There's a very specific age bracket. Let's go ahead and understand what we're talking about immediately. The rest of y'all are going to be quickly Googling Run Lola Run. So yeah, old girl is run. She's given chase. She's caught, killed, and then she says, "From beneath you, it devours."
Mm-hmm. And one of our trivia is the song that's playing. The lyrics to the German song actually translate into "Beneath You." From beneath you, it devours.
Interesting. So was that a song made specifically for this, or that was the title? The title of this episode was based on that song, like somebody found. I don't know. That's a lot. That's very fortuitous. Very fortuitous if they just found this song. It's like, what? Like, yes. But in the same time, Buffy is having bad dreams or premonitions, as we have come to learn, as we learn to know.
And Dawn is horrified by the sounds that are coming out of her room.
There's a lot of screaming and yelping and moaning and
Is there not a better way to have woken her up?
Yeah. I don't think you want to wake up a Slayer quite so violently.
You don't want to wake up anyone quite. That's a good way to get punched.
Mm-hmm.
Come at me like that while I'm asleep.
So, yeah, Buffy was dreaming or saw this girl go through this, and Buffy's like, from beneath you it devours. And she tells Dawn, and I don't know. I forget already what exchange happened between the two of them in this scene.
She was like, I heard a girl screaming. It was you. There was a girl. That would be me.
So Buffy also realizes that, she's starting to think that there are more girls. She tells her, she knows that this girl got run down and killed. And she's like, there's more girls like her out there and they will die. And will take to something rumbling and traveling underground, breaking up ground and concrete on its way.
Super creepy.
Yeah. We don't know what it is. Then we, after credits roll, we got Spike in the basement, crawling around.
Oh, Spiky.
Stalking a rat.
Oh, Spiky. It's not a good look.
It's not.
Well, let's just say it's not, Angel had his periods with rats, but he was crawling around in alleys, but at least he still got to maintain his sanity.
Yeah. But at least, okay, so I guess the trade-off is Angel got to maintain his sanity, but his hygiene was completely ignored because he looked a hot mess.
But I think
Spike
got both.
Yeah, Spike is just like, well, I don't know, like he's a little dirty, a little dusty, but he's still like, he's not.
How do you get that dusty?
Wrapped in a sack.
Crawling around in the vents?
He's not wrapped in a sack, and his hair is just a little unkempt, and I like the roots.
I like the roots. I like the curly hair. I dig it. His clothes are all ripped up.
Right. So as he's going off on Crazy Town and stalking this rat, the rumbling starts, and he freaks out a little bit more so than he would usually. I would imagine.
And in the meantime, Dawn and what is this like family carpool? Is this just
I guess,
how we?
Yeah,
this is how it goes. Xander picks up the Summers girls, and now that Buffy is working at the school, which okay, yeah, that's how that works. You're just going to hire a lady that has not passed any kind of teaching certificate program.
Nothing. Were there at least child clearance acts?
Right. Were there background checks? And,
their fingerprinting, anything of that nature? Just plop her in the middle of a high school to quote unquote counsel children just because why?
Okay.
Why? And
Dawn's excited.
But then she realizes, is like, oh, wait a minute, you're going to be there all the time. You can't talk to me or my friends, or don't look at anybody. Don't do anything. Don't say nothing. Pretend I don't exist.
Well, and I'm confused because you see how she acted on the first day of school, Dawn. She immediately ran into your class.
Right.
Why were you not immediately like, oh, hell no.
Like, this is unfair.
You're going to say no to this.
It's not okay. So this car ride is basically for a lot of exposition.
So much. So much. And they're not driving, they're being like pulled. And why is Dawn sitting in the middle other than the blocking of the shot?
Right. I hate that in TV shows and movies and stuff where the person in the back seat is sitting in the middle and we all know it's just for blocking purposes.
Right. No one chooses to sit, bitch. No one. It's so uncomfortable.
Like, why would you sit like that?
It's such a tiny seat. Of course, her narrow behind would fit on it, but...
Right. So, yeah, blah, 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 exposition. Xander's still kind of bemoaning about Anya.
Life.
He hasn't had any in a while. Like, he's like not dating and...
He's 100% fuck off in this episode.
Yeah.
Everything that comes out of his mouth is wrong.
Yeah.
He needs punched. And then junk punched.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's one point where he's talking to Nancy and she's like, have you ever, that ex who just always comes back around and like ruins everything in your life? He's like, yeah. Listen, Xander, neither one of your exes were the ones that came back around ruining anything in your life. Like, both of them are just trying to pick up the fucking pieces that you broke around.
Right.
So.
You cheated on Cordelia.
Right.
And you left Anya at the altar. And then later in the episode, he has the gall to say, how many times are you going to use that? Forever. That's how long.
Right. It's like,
I have lifetime credit on that. I'm going to drop it every chance I get, and you're going to take it.
Exactly. And you know what? As a matter of fact, I'm going to type up a nice little card, laminated, and hang it around my neck. And it's going to happen every single time. Anytime you say or do anything to or around me, Xander. Yep. It's like that
because it's not like Cordelia. Sure, I could get you cheated on me
in high school.
We're not going to be cool,
right?
Yeah, in high school, we're not going to be cool. We may never be friends again, but I could forgive you and get past it.
Right.
This grown folk stuff.
Left at the altar.
You cost me thousands of dollars.
Left at the altar in a wedding dress.
Right.
No, sir.
Like not just the emotion behind it, but the money.
Yeah. The money.
that you're not going to get back.
Broseph. Yeah, because this is like day of. Like,
right.
Like, had you canceled,
you've done it. They don't give a shit. You were all there. You were seated. You were done.
Exactly.
You're not getting. There's no refund.
People drank booze. People ate appetizers. Like, nope, it's all done. It's paid for. You paid for an elaborate breakup. That's what
so
you
now
paid
I've
for.
got this lifetime debt for a horrible reminder.
Right. Exactly.
Every time I'm paying my credit card bill.
Right. So Buffy gets to work, and some of the same questions that we have as to why. Buffy has them as well. It's like, not that I'm ungrateful, but why? I haven't even finished college yet. It's like, perhaps you like my work at the Double Meat Palace.
She also makes a great callback reference to Principal Flutie.
Right, because he says something, Principal Wood says something about don't let these students eat you alive.
You heard about Principal Flutie, right? He makes a weird face, like maybe he hasn't heard about Principal Flutie. And then he makes a really stupid joke.
Yeah, these kids only understand the boot, the bat, and the bastinada. And then Buffy's like, there's crickets, and he's like over explaining his joke, and she's like, oh no, I get it, I know what the bastinada is.
She explains it, and I'm like, well, thank you, because I didn't know what it was.
I had no idea.
I've watched this episode a million times. I still forgot what it was
every time. And I would just like to take this time to point out how incredibly grateful I am for D.B. Woodson's presence on this show.
He's a wonderful addition of color.
Yeah. And he's delightful. He's got, I love his like sly humor in here. Like he delivers humor well. And also like the stone cold stares that he gives her sometimes, like when he just kind of rambles and he's just like, It's
a little unfortunate where the character ends up going.
I know. And you look back at this and knowing that he knows who she is and what she is and all about Slayers and everything. And
I'm sure not going to enjoy rewatching this season with today's eyes and today's knowledge of certain people.
Yeah. So
it's going to make it real hard.
Right. So Principal Wood goes off and does his principal thing. He goes to principal.
He's got the catch of the day, 2 delinquents that have been caught on like the 3rd day of school.
Right. Like, really, guys, you can't just... Okay, so Buffy...
Be cool.
Buffy takes this opportunity to go find Spike.
Yep. Crawling around in the basement.
And he's still batty. Batty.
He's just gone bonkers. There's no explanation to it. And it's several times during this episode, she sits around and just lets him be bonkers. Could you imagine? I know, I think after 2 seconds, I'd be like, you know what? I'm going to let you do this. And I'm going to come back.
Right. Yeah.
Willow's still spending time on the gorgeous estate.
That is Anthony Stewart Head's. But he's, a taxi's here and it's time for her to go home. And Giles would like to get back to bacheloring. And so he's really pushy about getting her back.
He's really pushy about And she's really like, please, I don't think I'm ready.
He's like, nah, girl, you got to go. I am so done babysitting you right now.
Which for someone who tried to kill, tried to destroy the world, they say they're not ready.
Right. Maybe they're not ready. Right. Yeah, let her. She's like, you told me to trust my instincts. My instincts are telling me this is a bad idea. He's like, no. As he's picking up her bags and calling, waving to the taxi over here. He's counting out bills to give to the taxi driver.
And considering what happens in the next episode, she was kind of right.
Right. Exactly. She was not ready.
But he forces her out the door anyway. And they both look fantastic in this episode.
Yeah.
Her hair is just the color is so vibrant. He looks great.
I know.
I mean, I wouldn't want to go either.
She's like, this country air has done wonders for my skin. Do you see? Why do I want to go back to Sunnydale? I am living a stress-free life here.
You mentioned something about punishment.
Right.
I'd like to take that avenue now.
So now we've got, we meet a young lady who is walking her dog down the way. And the rumbling starts again, and she's kind of. I'm a little upset by how she's kind of been like
yanking on that collar a little, that leash a little hard there, woman.
Right, exactly. Like her
That's
attitude.
a tiny dog. You're gonna snap that dog's neck. You pull too hard.
That dog needs a harness, first of all, and you can't just get like a regular old leash around his neck. It's a tiny Yorkie, and
he's like professor size.
Exactly, and she's being very snotty about it, and she's like, hurry up and do your business so we can go home. She's like, oh, I got a cat.
You should have got a cat. You're not a dog person.
Exactly. And she does not seem too choked up about his demise either. Like, I would still be like in just tears upon tears as I'm retelling my story.
I wouldn't even be able to tell the story. It would be like just sobs and then a word. Sob and then a word. And then I'd throw up. And then I'd have to go lay down.
Right. It's like, I mean,
but Xander starts hitting on her, sort of.
Yeah, she like the ground opens up, snatches the dog, and she runs right into Xander, and he takes her back to Buffy's. And you're right, and immediately starts to just like be gross and hitting on her. It's like, dude.
They're giving her first aid, and they're, it's a weird, Nancy's whole situation is just weird to me because she's just too okay with everything.
Yeah. Like
she should be screaming.
This weird thing happens. This extremely bizarre and dangerous thing happens. The ground is like has opened up and snatched your dog. Like something comes out and eaten it, and you go off with the first schmo that you run into.
The first stranger,
right? And then just like telling them everything about your business.
No, thank you. And so Buffy's just telling her everything will be okay. We're gonna, we'll figure everything out. We'll figure out what's going on. And Spike shows up.
Out of fucking blue. And Spike has
in
showered.
A very pretty color of blue.
Yes, he's showered. He's changed. He's got a very nice form-fitting blue top on. He's taken some time to get a haircut and dyed his roots.
Like, let's just think about this for a second.
And he
did all of this in one day.
Right.
So he got a hair appointment or he bought a bottle of bleach. And did he dye it in the basement of the school? Like, think of the outtakes that happened. Him stealing this shirt.
Exactly. Right. So, like, he took a trip to the mall. And stole his shirt, stole some peroxide and hair clippers.
Because it's not like he just combed his hair back.
No.
He definitely dyed it.
He definitely dyed it and definitely got a haircut.
Imagine him just still crazy in the salon, like in the chair with the girl, just ranting while she's cutting his hair.
So he has come up for air from the basement for a moment to have a makeover, and he's lucid right now. Mm-hmm. And he's saying, something's happening. I'm here to offer my help. And everybody is like, oh, shit. And Xander immediately starts in on him, and Nancy's confused, and finally they agree upon, like, yeah, Spike is Buffy's ex, and then it comes out that Buffy saw Spike in the basement. Dawn is all pissy about it, like, why you didn't tell me? And Xander is a little bit upset too.
But I actually get why everybody's mad. I mean,
oh yeah, totes.
He did try to sexually assault her.
Right. Yeah.
They deserve to know that she saw him.
Yeah, this is true. But yeah, and nobody is like really hiding their feelings about what's going on. Nancy's confused. I'm not sure why she's still there, actually.
Me neither.
I would have left.
Other than she's like, well, this is fascinating. Feel the tension in this room.
Right, exactly. This has nothing to do with me. I just want to sit back and watch.
Anybody got popcorn? Kitchen this way. But they decide they're all gonna, I love that Buffy just keeps the weapons trunk in the living room now.
Yeah. I mean, at some point.
No need to hide it.
Yeah, at some point, yeah, exactly. I mean.
Beautiful craftsmanship that Xander did.
Right.
No need to hide it.
So Buffy and Spike take a moment to go on and, have a chit chat. And she's like, I don't want to hear about blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I'm not trying to say sorry. Like, listen, something terrible is happening. You need my help. I can give it to you, or I can walk out the door and be fine. Like, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. I don't have anything else better to do.
Oh, Spike. Just keep talking with that blue. We
right.
Like it.
I know. It is very becoming. And reluctantly, she accepts his help. And Xander...
They all go out.
Yeah, she's like, we'll split up into groups. And she goes off with Spike, and Xander's like, are you sure? And with a very loud whisper, he tried to rape you. Like,
yeah.
Nancy, I'm sure, heard that.
And she's wondering if Buffy's his girlfriend, and he's like, "Whoa, hey, no, she's my girl who's a friend." He
uncomfortably over-explains the situation.
It's gross. And poor little Dawn tries to feel important. She's like, "I'm Command Central. Everybody check in with me. I'll really just be here doing my homework."
It sounded better the way I put it. Whatever.
Yeah.
But she does get a very good threat into Spike, as everybody's
Very
leaving.
good.
She's like, hey, Spike, you sleep, right? He's like, yeah, what's your point? She's like, well, do anything to my sister and know that you will wake up on fire one day. Like, yikes.
Wake up on fire. Dawn.
Get it.
He would explode before he'd wake up. So while your threat is adorable,
right?
I love it.
It's like, I appreciate your gravitas.
It's kind of like that episode when Cordelia was like, one day you're gonna wake up in a coma,
right?
To Giles, and he was like, wake up in a coma. Oh, so cute.
Oh.
So they go out patrolling, and they're checking out the Earth where the worm has come up, and I feel like at certain points during this episode, it's Spike's trying to explain, they're having it's intense.
Yeah.
And they're saying things without saying things. He's trying to apologize. I feel like this episode is trying to apologize to the fans for what Spike did.
Right.
In a very subtle way.
It is very awkward between Spike and Buffy, understandably so. She's very put off and standoffish. She understands that she does need the help because, at some point, Dawn was like, should we assemble the team? And Xander's like, this is pretty much the team. It's just us now, kid.
There's nobody else.
Right. So Buffy needs the manpower, and he's willing to help. So, but she's still just like, something's off with you. I can't put my finger on it. He's like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. There's something I'm not telling you, but we're not cool anymore. So you don't get to know.
Oh, it's like that. Okay. She even has like a
right. It's like, wait a minute.
All right.
It's like, you assaulted me. Why do you get to be busy?
Nancy looks familiar, but I can't place her.
I don't know. Maybe.
But she annoys me.
She is a kind of annoying bird.
Xander takes her home, and they have an awkward little exchange.
She starts to hit on him, something about, I'll call you. And he's like, I'm very look-upable or whatever. I guess he's in the phone book. But why don't you just leave her your number? Why make her do the work?
You.
Why make her do the legwork? Just like, you're right outside of her apartment. I'm sure she has a pen and paper in there.
I swear, the older I get, I hate him so much more. Young me thought he was adorkable.
Right. Now it's just like, oh my God, dude. If you say let one more word come out of your mouth.
And then they get attacked.
Yep. And after they're attacked, they start to chat a little bit.
I love this so much. When I first saw this episode, I never thought this was the turn it was going to take. Because we didn't have that spoilery summary.
Right. Yes.
So we're just like, what is with this worm? This weird dune-looking worm
with teeth.
With teeth that make the CGI is bad.
Yeah, it is pretty bad.
It's bad. But they get to talking, and she mentions something about a wish.
Right. She's like, oh, my ex-boyfriend, a wish. And what's funny to me is how every time somebody says the word wish around the Scoobies, they're all like, whoa, must be a vengeance demon. Like, what if it's not?
What if it's not? But it is Sunnydale, and chances are.
Right. It's like, I want to wish you a happy birthday. What?
Don't ever say that word. Should be on the welcome to Sunnydale. Please don't use the following words.
Never speak any Latin.
Especially by the books.
Don't draw any weird symbols in blood.
And don't go out after sundown.
Enjoy.
Come again.
Please visit the espresso pump.
So we cut to the Bronze.
Where Anya is trying desperately to make this business transaction happen. This girl is bemoaning about her ex, and she's like, finally. She gets to, you know what I wish? And Anya's like, yes.
God, do I want to. And she wishes he was spineless. I really want to see that.
Right? What does that look like?
It's like, God, done. Guy with no spine. I can do that.
Right. But I guess she never actually puts all the words together. She doesn't actually say, I wish so-and-so was spineless, because for some reason, I guess she gets distracted, and Anya's like, what were you saying? And she starts talking about quesadillas and another drink. It's Anya's like, listen, I have a quota.
And just as she's about to do it, in comes penis. I love that she actually says, oh, penis.
Right.
And this whole scene is fantastic.
Yeah, it's great. I don't appreciate how they're all so very
accusatory.
Confrontational with her. Buffy's like sitting there like looking all smug with her arms crossed at her. It's like, can we?
You know, this used to be your friend, right?
Right. It's like, y'all are some
and like
bitches.
She's the victim, guys. Like, she's the one that had this horrible thing happen to her.
Right. Y'all are some bitches, like, for real.
Right?
So
Bro code my like no.
Yeah. And so Xander's like, you know, did you turn her ex into a worm? And Anya's like, yeah. You wish it, I dish it. I thought you were clear on that.
Nancy's just like, what? I thought that was like metaphorical. I thought
we were just chatting.
No. And Buffy's like, it ate her dog.
And then Anya has them, oh, puppy. I love it. She is very distraught about it. She's more distraught than Nancy is about the puppy.
And Xander's like, the puppy gets your your sad face?
She's like, you never understood me. Clearly.
Truth.
Clearly. And so there's this weird thing happening that goes on. So Xander, like, first of all, like, Nancy, like, cuddles up to Xander a little bit and is like, you know, like, who is this woman? Like, you just got here. Like, I need you to be a little more respectful. And so there's this whole exchange where he's like, Anya's my ex. And then Spike goes in and starts to manhandle her. And she's like, nope, we're not doing that anymore. Don't touch me anymore. And then Nancy's like, so Anya and Spike, but I thought Spike and Buffy and da-da-da-da. You know, this whole thing, and starts to get real incestuous. She's like, is there anybody here who hasn't slept together? And then Xander and Spike have a little glance.
I've never noticed that before today.
Really?
Never. I have never noticed that before today. I want to know what went down in that basement. Because it is a quick little look.
Right. Because it was like just one night that somebody had like a dream and somebody cuddled up with somebody and nobody like, and it was like.
Spike was tied to the chair. An awful lot.
Yes, he was.
So then Spike gets in Anya's face, which is a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
Because for some reason, this is a weird power. I don't know why she has it. She can see his soul.
Maybe it's just with demons altogether they can recognize and not recognize.
Maybe.
Because she's like over everybody, you know, and rightfully so. And she just comments on how, oh, you're also ridiculously human. And then she looks at Spike and is like, except you. And then she's like, it clicks. She's like, I can see it. I can see you.
I can see it.
I can see you. How did you? What? And he's like, shut up, shut up, shut up. And
I don't like this part.
No.
Because nobody in the Bronze reacts when he starts punching her.
Right.
And it really bothers me that he just starts punching her.
A woman, yeah. Some dude comes in and just punches this woman straight up in her face and jumps up on top of her and starts beating her. And everybody's just like, what? Huh?
And then she jumps up with her demon face and Buffy gets involved. And now this guy's like punching two women. And still, Sure, he vamps out, but they're still, everybody's just standing there like, hmm?
I mean, I don't Nancy, you know, gets the right idea and pieces out, and she's like, fuck this, I'm out. But I don't understand why Buffy had to, like, jump all up. Okay. Yeah, so there's that part where when Spike is on top of her, and then she, like, throws him across to the pool table, and then when he gets up from the pool table.
My favorite is actually when she kicks him to the ground right after that, and he gets up from the ground. Twofold. One, it's just very hot.
Yes.
And two, I'm like, God, I wish I could get up like that. I gotta roll over to my knee, put one knee up. Like, I can't just stand up from being down on the ground. To be limber.
I know. What I don't understand is why Buffy comes in and starts to whoop on Spike. Like, Anya is a demon.
Right.
She can take him. Own. She's fine. Mm-hmm. And Buffy rolls in and gets all involved and just like looking for a reason to start beating up on Spike. And then Spike gets really petty and hurtful.
He sure does.
He starts to, like, he fights back and is just like, damn.
Actually, he just is Spike from when he first came to town.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. This is OG Spike.
Yeah, he's
for
like
a hot second.
Yeah, he's like, oh, this will be the first contact since we and then he points out, he's like, how about another go round up in the balcony?
Sir. Sir. That's how Nancy runs out as she's running away and she gets attacked.
And Spike uses the word delicious again. This is probably the second time he's ever done it.
Yeah. That is nice.
And he's like, watching your face, trying to figure me out was absolutely delicious. So Xander warns Buffy that, you know, Nancy's gone and she's worm bait. And so Buffy, you know, puts a pin in beating Spike's ass and tells Xander that it's up to him to try to get Anya to reverse the spell.
And then everybody at the Bronze just goes back to their drinks.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure half those people should have cleared out at least. Like,
right?
Something like this is going on. I'm out. I don't need to be a part of any of it.
Mm-mm. I guess I'm just gonna have my beer, and you're just gonna go back to your regular face. I know I saw a demon face. I know I did.
Something's wrong with your face,
and I know I saw it.
And I know that's not PCP. No matter what, my old principal used to try to sell us.
And Nancy, she rightfully goes up, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes in horror movies, people do the dumb thing when they're being chased by something scary. But Nancy does the smart thing when something's coming at you from the ground.
Right.
You go high.
Exactly. And that's what she does.
Except she picked the worst ladder in town. Apparently the infrastructures of Sunnydale buildings are not good.
I can't imagine that they would be. Everything has always been so destroyed 7 times over.
And for whatever reason, Buffy and Spike are running across rooftops to get to her. I think Buffy's going after Nancy, and Spike is just chasing after Buffy.
Right, because he's like, you know what? I'm enjoying this. I would like more. I got some more one-liners to give you. I got some more jabs I want to give you here. Some more shitty things to say.
After Buffy does the weirdest save. It's a weird action moment where she grabs Nancy and they like zip line down to that strategically placed pile of trash.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And Spike jumps in, gets a little piece of pipe, and he's going to start beating this worm down.
And it just so happens, and while all this is going on, you know, Xander and Anya are talking, and, you know, basically, again, just like, you know, Xander, pity me, and Anya's like, you know what, I can't with you. And I think my burn for this week is, like, you know, Xander, Anya's talking about how DeHoffrin is on her case about her workload and about her work and the quality of her work, and how Halfrick is, you know, talking shit and blah, blah, blah. And Xander's like, oh, nice friends you have. And she's like, nice friends I had.
Mm-hmm. Because of you.
Right.
Everything is because, and he even says, are you trying to blame me? Yes.
Like, I need you to listen. Listen when I talk. Why?
So after I type up my laminated badge, I'm going to give you one. So that you can look at it every morning and remember why you're a fuckboy.
Right. This is your fault. It's all very much your fault.
But he does, I guess, convince her to reverse the spell because just as Spike is going in for the kill on the worm,
Yeah.
this very awkward looking dude shows up naked.
Right. So,
And it breaks Spike.
yeah. Shatters him.
Like completely broken.
Yeah, like right in time, like he drives his pole right through this human version of Ronnie. He's screaming, Ronnie's screaming because of the
It's bad.
It's terrible, and he's just like, sorry, and whatever semblance of lucidity he had at that point is gone.
Absolutely gone. And he starts asking for help, screaming for it, in fact.
And Buffy's
just like, go be crazy somewhere else.
Which I appreciate.
You're not the one who needs help. This guy's actually bleeding out. Like, and instead of leaving, he spends like 5 minutes gushing crazy on them.
Right. Yeah. He's just like monologuing crazy. Talking.
When he spins that bar, though.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like he's got his, pit. Congratulations, James Marsters, for all of the like ups and downs of like emotion and that he was portraying throughout this entire episode here, because he just this is like his best work, I feel like, in this one episode. The best thing in this entire series.
It's real good.
And he's shouting, he's screaming, he's like, buckling over, he's crying, then he does his laugh. And then he's just like, hey, joke's on me. And it's just like, again, with the crazy, and he twirls his bar.
Tell the kitty or wife and kitties come see the show.
Right. He's like, this is crazy town. And I remember that was in the promo for this episode.
And then he actually has the line that we will hear several times over this season. He talks about from beneath you, it devours. And it's a little too hot.
Yeah, he gets real
when
serious.
He says it.
Yeah, exactly. He gets real serious and real in Buffy's face for a second. Is like, you know what? This is just an opening act. The real headliner is coming. When the band hits the stage.
Goes, and runs off. And she was just like, I don't have time. Guy is dying.
It's like, I don't know how to react to this.
But then finally Xander and Anya show up. And she's like, oh, good. You deal with this. I've got to go see about Crazy. And for some reason, I must take my top off, my jacket off to reveal my cami. Right. I must be in my cami.
Exactly. Why did she lose her jacket?
Where did her coat go? What? Did she take the coat off and get? I got to rewatch. Did she take the coat off?
I'm looking at it now and... Oh, wait, maybe she does. Like, okay, because at first she covers him with some dirty-ass blanket she found on the ground.
That can't be safe or sanitary.
Right. And so now, okay, she gives him her jacket to put as a pillow, which...
Okay.
Whatever.
You just wanted to get her out of that coat.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't need a pillow. He needs an ambulance. He does need to be covered up.
He needs a doctor.
Right. He needs some sort of... He needs a tetanus shot, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Cover up his naughty bits and just...
Yes. And so...
Go see about Mr. Crazy.
Exactly. And so Anya, she's also in tune to like, yeah, something terrible is coming. And like, this is nothing compared to what's about to happen. So Buffy...
I feel like we need a meeting.
Everybody is talking about what's gonna happen and a big bad and things are gonna be like really horrible. Can we get everybody in a room and just
like, I am the Slayer. I need to know these things.
Like, I'd appreciate be given information in the form of a riddle. Can we just talk it out? Mm-hmm. So Buffy goes off to the graveyard and she winds up in a church
that we've never seen ever before, and it's gorgeous.
It is. It's
like old horror movie gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
And everything about this, from the second this scene starts, it's shot completely different than any other episode.
This is the best 5 minutes of the entire series, in my opinion.
The lighting?
Yes.
The coloring to the lighting, like
there's like
the blues that they
everything is like perfect, like these perfect shadows placed everywhere and like the perfect like light for where we need it. Buffy goes in there and Spike approaches her and is just like talking more nonsense.
He's shirtless.
And he's shirtless. She notices the gash on his chest, the scratches on his chest, and she touches it. She's like, what happened? And he's like, hey, no touching. And then he's like, oh, feed on flesh. And then he's like, again,
service the girl.
Right. Get it hard. Service the girl.
Whoa. And even she's like, what the fuck?
And he starts to take his pants off, and she's like, no, stop it. What are you doing?
And she just, again, this is another like unloading. Like, she's so confused. This is so much. I hope she has a therapist because.
Right. Yeah. So he keeps going on about a spark. There's no spark. I'm looking for a spark. So they talked about the spark, and he's just rambling. And Buffy's like getting more and more impatient.
And nervous.
Yeah. Because he says something about.
He's confined himself to the shadows, which is kind of creepy.
Right. And he also says that he dreamed of, like, he opens up this big confession with, I dreamed of killing you. And she picks up a steak. She's like, okay.
Yep. And I mean, you got to remember, she is in a room alone with the guy that tried to sexually assault her.
Right.
She's got that in the back of her mind the whole time. So, and it's a scary situation, but you see it in her face when she kind of realizes something's seriously off here.
Yeah, because she's got to be torn in two pieces. Like, and I'm terrified. I know it's not the best idea for me to be here by myself with this dude, but also knowing Spike, as we know Spike, like, she knows something is terribly wrong and terribly off, and then the whole from beneath you, it devours. Everybody's talking about. She needs to find out as a Slayer what the fuck he's going on about. And again, with like the spark, and he talks about how, that piece that will make me fit and that he's looking for. And then, she's like, what happened? And he's like, I can't. He's like, don't look at me when I tell you this. And so he goes off and he's just rambling on. And then there's, like, did you make me weak? Is something that he asks. He's like, I've wasted buckets of salt over you.
Like, whoa, stop right there.
I don't know if he meant like.
I'm like,
tears?
Pick a different way to describe it.
No, did he mean tears or did he mean the other?
But she slowly comes to the realization.
Well, he mentions Angel should have warned me, and then it's like, ding. She's like, what?
Her face, you can see her butt. You can see the heart drop into her butt when it happens.
Because he's still like, the spark. And she's just
I did it for you. What?
It's like, huh? And she's like, you can see her like swallow that lump in her throat. Like, ooh.
You did? What do you mean you did it for me? Why?
Like,
why would you do this?
He's like, I got it. They put the spark back in, and now all it does is burn. And just, there's something very. And I guess, at some point, this is crazy Spike, but then I guess we also kind of get a glimpse of William, the poet.
He starts waxing poetic.
Right. So there's a lot
Why must a man do what he must?
Right. So there's a lot of poetry that's going into his confession. And she's like, she realized, you got your soul back. And he's like, that's what you wanted, right?
And her one silent tear as he just drapes himself over that cross. Oh. I don't know if he was confused and thought he was hugging her.
No, I think he was trying. I think this was like a kind of lightweight, like a suicide thing, or just like pain, because he keeps going on about, the people screaming in his head, and that's all they do is just keep talking, and everybody is here. It's everybody, and they just tell me to go, and and then he's like, well, they tell him to go to hell, and he's like, well, can we rest?
Can we rest now?
Can we rest now?
And considering what happens to him in season 5 of Angel and the Hell thing, Spike, Angel got off soft. Like, fuck you, dude. You really got off easy.
He did. Because I don't recall much of it, like in any of his flashbacks, to be like this much of a torment, like other than whatever tormenting that he did to himself.
You can't reach perfect happiness. That doesn't mean you can't be a slut.
Right.
Exactly. Perfect happiness does not happen every day, dude. Like,
well, maybe it also has to do with because as we saw in just like limited flashbacks, but still, like, Liam as a human was an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Spike,
yes, he was.
Spike William as a human, he was not. He was a
mama's boy.
Yeah, soft mama's boy, and
sweetheart.
So there was already Like, he has this propensity of just like, taking things a little bit, feeling things a little bit more. So yeah, Spike lays himself on the cross, and I get chills every time I see that scene. And we see the smoke, like, because there's this light burning happening because he's laying on his naked flesh on a cross.
Which we know from when she beat the shit out of him last season that they don't heal instantly.
Right.
So shouldn't he have needed some ointment for like a couple weeks?
Right.
Like Darla and Drusilla, when they get set on fire,
yeah,
by Angel, they are crusty for a while.
Yeah.
So like he's just got this big ass cross across his chest.
I was just thinking that too. It's like probably because I don't recall. Like, do we even see him in the next episode? Yeah, we do. I think so.
I think we do. Yeah, because there's that button.
Yes. Yes. I love that. And to this
From
day.
the promo. It was in the promo for the episode.
Right. And to this day, I still like think about that. Anytime I I'm sewing on a button or it's like see buttons. Who's got the button?
Oh, Spike. Spike's got goodness in season 7.
Yeah, he does. And I appreciate the ability to let James step out a little bit more on his acting in this one.
Well, and I did see a trivia on it that it was so like they filmed the episode and Joss didn't like that scene.
What scene? The cross scene?
Yeah.
Why?
He did not like it at all, so they completely redid it. And he directed the reshoot.
Oh, interesting.
And that it took like 20 hours or something.
Sweet fancy Moses.
To do. And like he even rewrote the whole thing. He said that the original dialogue was too on the nose. And James has said it's some of his favorite work he's done.
Wow.
On the show.
I wonder what that original one. Joss. Yeah, I wonder what that original one looked like.
Season 7 is not my favorite, but it does have like the overall arc of the season is meh.
Yeah, I don't particularly care for, like, I understand. I don't know. It's the whole potentials that just really throw it off for me.
But Spike's redemptive arc is some of the best.
Yeah.
Across the series.
Absolutely. Where
he goes across this season particularly is fantastic.
Yes. So we, So we pointed out what the song was, and the bodies dropped.
We only had 2. The Frankfurt potential slayer that was stabbed by a harbinger of death, and R.I.P. Rocky.
Rocky.
He was eaten by the Sluggoth demon.
I do not think this passes the Bechdel test at all.
Nope. I don't think so either.
Moral of this story is that nope.
There's not one. I don't have one this week.
Oh, I have one. It says, don't try to change yourself to make someone else happy. Make changes for yourself. So
I like that.
Yeah, because Spike, went and got a soul because isn't this what you wanted, Buffy? And now he's being tormented, and he can't handle it. It's not a good change for him. It does not work well. He's not wearing it well.
Read the fine print next time.
Yeah. Oh, Spikles. All right. So let us know your thoughts on Beneath You. You can send us an MP3 file less than 2 minutes to revisitingsunnydale@gmail.com. We might play it on the air next week. Same time, same place.
Ha ha. You guys get to watch Camila react to Gnarl.
Me? What about you?
You get to watch us both freak out.
Right, exactly.
It's the skin eating.
It's so gross. So subscribe, follow, like us. You can find me, Camila, on Twitter at @the_rugged_angel.
Or me, Marcella. I changed it. Yeah. Hello, Marcella _
Yes. Revisiting Sunnydale is produced by Rugged Angel Productions and hosted by Camila and Marcella. Please follow the podcast on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And if you are in the giving mood, please consider being a patron by going to patreon.com/revisitingsunnydale.